Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello, hello. How you guys doing out there on this lovely Thursday afternoon? Let's see. Let's get IG going on here. All right. We're on live. Hi, guys. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Elaine Proby here, CEO, PROBY'S Tax and Accounting. Once again, with our weekly live, giving you guys some much needed updated information. So today I want to talk to you guys about, what to do if you owe taxes, And I know we are always talking about the tax situation. Again, you guys have to understand that this is something that we all have to do. We all have to file. We all have to pay. And basically, the whole idea about having these sessions is to assist you so that it can, you know what to do about your personal financial situation and your business financial situation, because everyone knows that the taxes can create the biggest disaster financially. All right. And what we want to do is make sure that you guys you take care of whatever it is that you have going on, so it doesn't get to a place where it becomes a disaster. And so what we want to talk about today is what to do if you owe taxes. All right. So everybody make note of this. Very important. I know if you don't owe taxes, someone owe taxes, you can pass this information on to them. Hit like and share on this live so that people can get this information. I mean, there's an average of so many people who owe taxes, and a lot of times we sit on it and we just kind of let it fester and we do nothing about it. All right, so I want to let you guys know that there are a lot of stuff that you can do about it, and it doesn't have to become a disaster. Hi, Anya. Hey, Mom T. Thank you for jumping on. All right, so guys, we're going to talk about 3 different things about what to do if you owe taxes today. We're going to talk about how to find out what you owe. And once you do, we're going to talk about how you can pay that. And then I'll let you guys know, stick around if you can't pay, what to do, right? This is one aspect of your life that you will need to face head on. And you don't need to let it take care of itself, because that's not going to happen. All you do is make it worse. Okay, so let's jump right into this. The first point today, guys, is how you know what you owe. This is the thing. A lot of people know that they owe taxes. And of course, what they do is they will sit on a letter. They'll get a letter. They'll sit on a letter. I have a lot of clients that will come later on when they get the first or the second or the third letter, when it gets to a point where, they don't even open some of these certified mails that they keep getting, right? They don't even open some of these mails. And a lot of times when I get these letters and find out how long they've had them, sometimes they're a year old, sometimes they're 2 years old. And so, we'll get this a lot. Okay, this is a very, very common thing. I mean, I've get letters every single week from clients who have gotten, some of this stuff goes further back than just a year or two. Some of these letters, they go far back. Sometimes these guys owe 4 or 5 years of taxes. And I'll talk to you about it in my third point today. Actually, in the second point today, we'll talk about what happens if you don't file these taxes on time, and why you get some of these letters showing that you owe monies that you really don't owe. Okay, so again, clients have these letters all the time and they just sit on them. So what we want to do is make sure that you take care of it. As soon as you get it, we want to take care of it. So first point today is, how do you know what you owe? How do you know what you owe? A lot of times people will come with a letter and they say the government said that I owe them, $50,000, $40,000, whatever that number is. But oftentimes that might not be the case. So how do you know what you owe? So let's point A. First of all, you want to go back. You can go back to all the taxes that you file that show that you have a balance due, right? Go back to all your taxes. Let's say if it's 2 years or 3 years. And generally, guys, all right, we all know. We generally know our own affairs. We know when we haven't filed them. We know what the last time we may have filed them, right? And we know when we file them if we owe taxes. We generally do. Even if we kind of let it slide from 1 year into the next, we generally do. So if you know that you owe some taxes, go back to the year that you owe the taxes and find out how much you owed for each one of those years that you owe. So if it's 2 years back, 3 years back, 4 years back, find out what you owe for those years. You can, just jot that down. This is going to help you figure out how much you really owe the government. Because oftentimes when I get a call from a client and I say, well, how much do you think you really owe? And there's like, oh, I have no idea. But generally, when you did those taxes, you kind of have an idea of what you owed at that time. You might not know what you owe now. All right. So that's the first thing. Go back to the taxes you filed, see what you owed on those taxes, add those up. And then on the second point is the second point for that number one deal is file all of your past due taxes. All right. File all your past due taxes because you won't know what you really owe if you haven't filed some years of taxes. So for instance, if you hadn't filed your 2017 or 18 or 16 for that matter, and you knew you owe taxes for 14 and 13, but you haven't filed 2 or 3 years of back taxes, you really don't have any idea what you owe. Okay, so file, first of all, you want to get all the years that you haven't filed, you want to get all the back taxes filed. Once you file those taxes, you should have an idea of what you owe on those back taxes. Okay, so once you file those, so you know what you owed when you filed. Then the ones you haven't filed, once you file those, you will know what you owe on those taxes that you haven't filed. Okay, so this is the second thing that you want to do. All right. So, hey, Inez, thanks for jumping on. Hi, Laverne. Tamazira, thank you. Real Goddess, thanks for jumping on here, guys. Hey, hi, sis. All right. I want you guys to hit like and share. Everybody needs this information. Everyone knows someone, if not yourself. And, there's no, like they said, there's no shame to that game. You owe some taxes. Let's face it. Let's take care of it. All right. That's what we want to do here. So what we're talking about for the first point, guys, what to do if you owe taxes, know what you owe is the first thing. That's where we need to start. And again, like I said, look at your past due, the taxes that you file, what you owe, and file all your back taxes. The back taxes will let you know what you owe then, because what happened is if you hadn't filed those taxes, and we have many sessions with this, the government may have filed them for you. They may have created a liability for you. You may not owe anything they say you owe simply because when they did them, they didn't know what your expenses were. They didn't take any deductions. They don't have, if you have any dependents, they don't know anything. You may have had a business that failed. They don't know any of this stuff, so they'll make it up. So now they think you owe something that you don't really owe. Okay, so we really want to know what you owe. Once you file your back taxes and you know what you owe there, you can calculate interest and penalty. Now, all this you can do prior to calling the IRS or prior to really just getting, over anxiety over what it is that they say you owe. Right? So, once you get everything filed, now the government will go ahead, whether that's a state, federal, and I've seen a lot of state letters. Of course, they'll send you a state letter saying you owe $60,000 and you don't even make $60,000. And that's simply because, again, they have created these numbers. So once all your back taxes are filed, guys, then the agencies can now calculate what you really owe. They will add all the interest, all the penalties to current, and will tell you what your balance is. And at that point, my point 2 and 3 will tell you how we can take care of it. Okay, so first point today, how to know what you really owe for taxes. We're talking about how you take care of your taxes if you owe. All right, and then for those of you who have already filed your 2020 taxes, now you have a current idea of where you are all the way through the current tax year of 2020 if you are one of those people who owe taxes. All right, so that's the first point today, guys. So now let's jump into our second point. Hi, class for Pop. Hey, Cognac, thanks for jumping on here. All right. Thank you guys for joining in. Hit like and share on this video. The second point today is how to pay. How to pay. All right. Now, it's awesome if you got a bill. You can go to the bank. You write a check. That's the easiest way to pay. All right. I love it. You just pay it all in full. You can go ahead and you get online. Go to irs.gov, right? You can go there and it says pay my taxes. You go to that point, you hit pay my taxes, and you can literally go in there and put in your bank account information, whether it's a savings or a checking account. You can go to that website and you can go to pay, get my payment, and you can go there and make that payment for those taxes. Hey, Kings, how you doing? Thanks for joining in. So once you go there, you can pay with your checking or savings account. Another option, guys, and I have a client that does this all the time. They want to get the IRS out the way, so they will pay with their credit card. So you can pay with a credit or debit card. Now, one thing you have to realize, though, and I like to let clients know this all the time because they say they want to pay with credit or debit card. I want them to understand that there's additional fees because the credit card and the debit card is processed through a third party. And these third party, what they do, they have processing fees. Some of those fees are $2, $2.50, and sometimes they charge at 2% on the balance you owe. So it could be more costly if you want to use a credit or a debit card because it's processed through a third party, guys. There is a minimum fee, and there's also processing, and there's percentages they charge you based on the amount you owe. So if you owe a lot of money, it's going to be a lot of fees going through a third party. My suggestion is if you have a checking account, if you have a checking or savings account, it's best for you to use that to make the payment. But And then again, you can do the old-fashioned way. You can just write a check, drop it in the mail, and then once it gets there, it take about 6 to 8 weeks. They'll process your payment, and so that's the other way, right? So that's the how you pay the government. So that moves us into my third point today. It's awesome. Now we know what we owe, and we know how to pay it. But the third point today is what happens if you cannot pay these taxes, right? And that's a common situation. For a lot of people, for a lot of reasons, a lot of financial reasons, loss of job, illness, a lot of stuff creates a situation where there is a financial burden, and so you cannot pay. All right, so let's talk about what to do if you can't pay. Hi, 82 Kings. Let's see, is it too late to get an extension? Yeah, it is too late to get an extension. I have a question over here from 82 Kings. It's too late to get an extension now. It had been filed by Monday, which was the 17th tax deadline due date. But my suggestion to you is to go ahead and get your taxes filed as soon as possible. If you feel you're going to owe taxes, you can reduce your penalties because they charge the penalties by the month. So the sooner you file them, the less penalty you do pay. So if you didn't get an extension, it's best to just go ahead and get those taxes filed as soon as possible. Okay, so that would be my suggestion on that. All right, thanks for tuning in too, by the way. All right, so guys, let's go back if you can pay. If you can pay, right? So once you figure out that you owe all of these taxes and you don't know how to pay, you can't afford to write a check, you can request an installment agreement. Now, the government has several ways to deal with this. You can request an installment agreement, right? This could be done online. You can create an account and do this. Create your own profile and request an installment agreement, or you can fill out the form and you can mail it in and request an installment agreement, or you can actually call the government, call them, whether it's the federal, whether it's a state, you could call them and request an installment agreement. Okay, so that's one of the first things to do. You're welcome, Kings. Thank you. You're very welcome. So you can request the installment agreement, and that will allow you to pay however much money you have available at the end of the month after you pay all your bills. Let's say you have $100 available. You can request an installment agreement and ask if you can pay $100 a month towards your tax debt. Now, what they do is the IRS would like for you to pay your tax debt off in 72 months. When you take your total and divide it by 72 months, it tells you what the minimum amount is that they will take. However, if you're not able to meet that minimum payment, let's say you take your total tax debt, you divide it by 72 months, and it says that you should pay this thing off by making $200 a month monthly payment. If you're not able to do that, guys, you can always call them and you can give them your financials, say, look, this is all I have available, and this is all I can pay, and they will make arrangement for you to be able to pay that amount, right? How you learning? Thanks for jumping on. Great information. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thanks for sharing this live too. All right. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. So the installment agreement is one way that you can assist in if you can't pay. The second thing, the IRS have an option that's called an offer and compromise. This is the one where you can settle your debt for less. A lot of people talk about this a lot. They call it the fresh start, which means that they will take less money for you to settle your debt that you owe to them. And then, of course, they give you a clean slate so you can start all over again. Now, the thing about all of these is that you got to qualify for that offer and compromise. And what it is if let's say you owe the government $25,000 and you want to see if you can settle that debt and say, well, based on all of your financial, you said that I can pay $5,000 to settle my $25,000 debt. And that is an offer and compromise. You go through a financial process. The IRS, if they go ahead, or even the state, if they agree to it, what they will do is they give you a period of, say, 24 months to pay that $5,000 off, guys, and then the whole $25,000 debt, is wiped out. So, and of course, it's temporarily wiped out, and I keep saying that because some people think that it's gone forever, but what it is, it's a contract. They allow you to file your taxes on time in the future, go in for about 3 to 5 years, file your taxes and pay on time, and then you don't have to worry about that debt. So that's the offer and compromise. And that's another way. If you can't pay, that's another way to go. And of course, you have to be qualified for that based on your financial situation. All right. So that's the second thing that you can do if you cannot pay. And again, you know, that's something that we do here at PROBY'S. I've settled a lot of debts. People owe hundreds of thousands of dollars. We have settled them for $20,000, $30,000. Some people owe $20,000 or $30,000. We've settled those for $5,000 and $6,000 or $7,000. So we take care of that kind of stuff here as well at PROBY'S Tax and Accounting. So we try to make sure that not only do you take care of the debt, but you know, you can at least get rid of some of that. And the third thing, this is important, guys. Make note of this. It's very important. This is the part where if you really can't make any payment at all, you can't qualify for the installment agreement because, you know, financially you might be unemployed. Like I said, there's a lot of financial hardship that's going on. What you can do, and the government is real susceptible to this, you can ask for a hardship. Okay, you can call them up and you can say, well, look, I can't afford to even pay $50 a month. I know I have this tax debt. Can you put me in hardship? Hardship is where they will stop all collection activity. You won't have to worry about getting your check garnished or your bank account levy. You won't have to worry about them coming to take anything that you have. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. What they will do, they will put you in hardship. And that means that they will set aside that tax debt and they will hold it for about a year, sometimes even two. I've seen them hold somebody in hardship 2 to 3 years. And then you may slowly get a letter back saying, okay, we want to remind you that you still owe us. How do you look now? How is your financial condition? Can you pay? And of course, if your financial condition is better, you can then make arrangement. If not, they can put you back in hardship. Okay. So guys, the whole point of this is you don't want to not do anything because all you do is make it difficult. You have them, you know, garnishing and levying. Like I said, they'll take Social Security money. They will go to the bank. They'll take whatever it is that you have. So you want to make sure that you face this problem and take care of it because there's a lot of ways you can do it. Okay, there's a question. What happens if you don't pay the taxes you owe? If you don't pay the taxes you owe, right? Okay, so if you don't pay the taxes you owe and you don't do any of the stuff that I just said about if you can't pay, get in contact with them, guys. This is what happens. First of all, they will go ahead and send a wage garnishment if you're at a job. They'll send a wage garnishment. If you are self-employed, they can send a garnishment, a levy to whoever pays you as a self-employed individual. So if you have a contract with someone and someone pays you independently, they will send a levy there and they will take every dime that's coming to you. They will intercept that money and they will call up your vendors and says, look, send me that check. They owe me money. So they'll take all that money. Again, for wage garnishment, they can take up to 25% of your net pay. And they can go straight to your bank account and they can levy and take every dime that you have in that account the moment that levy hits the bank. This is what happens. So you could be left with the rent and all that other stuff unpaid. You can have all that stuff just, you know, bouncing around because they have completely gone to the bank and took everything out of there for that moment when that levy comes in. And who wants that? I mean, that creates such a disaster. A lot of times we have had to clean up that mess. We have had to call them. We have had to ask them to, can you please put this money back in the bank? The rent was coming through. And a lot of times, you know, they're susceptible to that, but you do have to make an installment arrangement. So that was a very good question there, Lee Smith. What happens if you do not pay the taxes you owe? This is why I'm having this conversation today, guys, because there are things that you can do if you owe the taxes. As long as you take care of it, you won't have to go through those drastic collection measures. Okay, that's what that is. All right, so that covers my 3 points today. And again, Elaine Proby here, CEO of PROBY'S Tax and Accounting. What to do if you owe taxes? I know, again, like I said, a lot of people owe taxes. A lot of people don't want to face it, but it's better to take care of it than not to take care of it at all. And you guys hear what I just said. If you don't take care of it, if you owe the taxes and you don't pay and you do nothing, those are the consequences that will happen. All right, we don't want that to take place. All right, so that's it today, guys, on those points. Again, if you guys have any questions about any of this stuff, make sure that you make your notes at the bottom, put those questions there. We'll come back through here and get those, or else you can give us a call here at PROBY'S Tax and Accounting at 323-290-9034. Every time I get to this, it doesn't sound like a commercial. And or you guys can visit our website at probyststax.com. Again, like I said, we've been in business doing financial services, taxes, and accounting for over 35 years. And we do have a small business solution department. If anybody out there that has a tax problem, a situation that you need to take care of, and that you just have, just not done it, or done anything about it, or doesn't know what to do about it, this is why we have this conversation. Again, we have a department that can handle that for you. So give us a call here at probyststax.com or 223-290-9034. 4. All right. So with that said, guys, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys. I want to remind all the people out there, there's a lot of calls that I'm getting now with people who are starting new business, who really want to get their business off the ground, figuring out what to do, how to get it going. I've gotten several calls this week regarding that matter. Again, next month, we're going to be launching a 5-day challenge, teaching you how to get your business started, how to determine what to call it, what to do, how to get in compliance, how to stay in compliance. So we're going to have that coming through. Just look for it, and information on that course that we're going to do next month, and it will assist you to get going in that business that you so want to get started. All right. So we'll have that next month. And then after that, we'll teach you how to, make money and stay in business, right? And accumulate wealth. That's what we are here for. All right. Premier Warrior, thanks for jumping on here. I really do appreciate it, guys. With that said, again, tune in next Tuesday. We're going to have some more updated information for you. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we're on Facebook Live, IG, and YouTube. All right. And for those of you who are available on Saturday, I'll be speaking on a site with the 100 Black Women LA chapter. It's going to come on as a Zoom meeting. There's a flyer on our page, PROBY'S tax page. You guys can check it out. 1 p.m. Come and listen in and get some good information from the LA chapter of the 100 Black Women of America. All right. With that said, guys, thank you for tuning in. I will talk to you guys next week. I want you guys to take care of each other and take care of yourself. All right. So I'll see you later. Have a wonderful day.